where we need to start. And we need to provide the necessary support and energy and resources to enable each of these team leaders to grow their respective programs. We need to refocus our efforts on patient safety and quality. I found this out of an old book. I'm sure Dr. Wood has read this, Dr. Maybe probably too. This is not a new concept focusing on safety and quality. Dr. Bauer from Mass General in 1951 to 1963 said, "This hospital has 3 goals, and don't you ever forget which one comes first." We can talk about research, and we can talk about education, but we have to focus on the patients first. It's all about the patients. And why is a culture of safety important? Well, we have to improve our quality. This will yield better outcomes. Eventually, this will yield increased volume. These two, again, feed the other two pieces of our mission. This will ultimately generate revenue and then also develop increased levels of expertise. The increased levels of expertise will then improve quality. We have to be thinking about this super specialization. We can't be similar to what the other hospitals are in our area, where everybody can do anything that comes through the door. We're all capable, but we have to acknowledge what we're good at, what our strengths are, but also what our weaknesses are, and what could potentially be provided by one of our partners on one of the other main teams. We need to follow the guidelines. If the guidelines recommend referral to a system for patients with severe MR, severe mitral regurgitation, to a center that repairs 90% or more of the valves, and we're only repairing 70 to 80%, then we can't brand ourselves as the best until we have the data to back that up. The same thing could be said if you have an intermediate or high-risk patient. These guys have already written the papers. We know that TAVR is potentially a better alternative, and we are doing the patient a disservice regardless of the location, if we're not, at least not giving the opportunity to meet with one of our transcatheter surgeons or cardiologists. I think we can revise and potentially remodel how we deal with morbidity and mortality. I think a closed-door approach is going to be the best way moving forward. I think we need to emphasize and focus on consistent teams, not only with our mid-levels, but in the operating room. When I do a robotic-assisted bypass case at Midtown, I can do that procedure with a couple of the scrubs without even having to talk. I don't have to speak. I can do it with Brian, no words spoken, consistent. That's a culture of safety. We also can improve our performance in the operating room, patient safety in the OR. The number one problem in cardiothoracic OR safety is communication. Now, interestingly, the lead author on this, Nancy Nussmeier, was an Emory-trained cardiothoracic anesthesiologist, if I'm not mistaken. We need to teach our residents not only the technical skills that are necessary for success, but also the very important non-technical skills. We're going to have a frank discussion about concurrent surgery and how we're going to deal with it. That's not just a surgeon problem, that is a team and systems problem. We can do better with our use and adoption of checklists. We already have some of the basics in place. This has been extremely valuable in robotics, most likely because we're not at the bedside. We're away from the side, and we have to rely on the skill set and expertise of our teams to be able to deliver that high level of care. And we have to acknowledge as surgeons that the operation isn't over when the surgeon walks out of the room. It's when the patient walks out of the room. So in order for us as surgeons to ask for improvements in other areas, we have to be able to make those changes amongst ourselves. And I'm not showing this here to criticize us or to criticize our division. But for a 2-star hospital, our score in the last cycle, look how high it was. It was 97.4%. And what is it going to take to get to 3-star status? Yes, it's going to take a